We're continuing our houses specific to biomes in Minecraft. This time it's the turn of the swamp, and I've got something I think you're really going to like. Let's make it together. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my house tutorial series. I am waist deep in a swamp, and that's because today the biome we are targeting our small house in is, unsurprisingly, a swamp. The idea of this series is to create houses that are appropriate to the biome that they're in. We've done a modern house, okay, that's not a biome. We've done a desert house, that's definitely a biome. If you've not seen them yet, feel free to go and click on the playlist in the description below and have a look at them. Today we are going to do a small house in a swamp, so we've got to think about what the needs of living in a swamp are while we're building it. If you enjoy the content of this video, or any of my other videos for that matter, make sure you smash that like button, and also if you've not done it already, hit subscribe. It really does help out the channel and I really appreciate it. Let's crack on with this house, and like normal, we're freestyling. Now, given this is in a swamp, it's likely to have an awful lot of oak in there, plus a little bit of spruce, perhaps just to give it an accent. Other than that, not very much stone at all, and a few other bits and pieces. Let's crack on and see whether or not this palette fits what we end up with. I'm going to do this fella fairly close to the side there, because this big patch of swamp looks perfect for what it is we're trying to achieve. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this fella on kind of stilts. So if I bring my stiltage out there, and I come across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then put down another one and bring that out one more, and then bring this out 9 in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then where that used to be, that's going to be the kind of square, and then we can jut some stuff off of the side of it as well. And there, so we should have a square there. And what we can also do is bring a little bit more off of the side this way to act as a kind of an L shape, just to make the house look a little bit more interesting. So we're going to come out another 7 in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then bring that up like that. And then we're going to come across, let's say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bring that up like that. I think that is going to work for our footprint. As a result, we probably want to be bringing in another support beam right between those two there. And why not, let's stick another one right between those two there too. And that gives us a complete straight line, and we know where we're going. So I added a little bit extra on this side here as well, and given a 3-block gap between the posts, and then brought them up too high above the water. That is going to act as our platform, and then we're going to grab ourselves some oak slab, and we're going to bring this platform on the level around all of these sides to create an entire floor shaping this entire area. I'll be back when I've done that. One finished platform. Now this bit that comes out, we're going to raise that up by 1, and then all of these we're going to raise up by 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again on these corners as well, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then between those we're going to put in a load of oak planks like this, and we're going to accent those oak planks with some stripped wood like that. I'm just going to crack around and do that on the entire house. We've got, well, it's a box, isn't it? We've got a box right there, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create the entrance up to the box. So we're going to come here, and we need to place a block on the underside of this first, just to get somewhere to put the step. And that step is going to go there. We can then remove that and place another step there and there. Replace that like that, and we've got steps going downwards. Come around the back, put in some steps going backwards like that. Jump out of the way of the lily pads, which are terrible for trapping you, and then come around the front and place another set of steps so they are level with this water. You can then get out onto those steps like that and come into your place. I'm actually going to have this on both sides, so we've got a dual entry system. That can go there and there. I can then get rid of that. I can come up, grab that, put that on there, and then finish off these steps going down to the other level. That's given us our entrance platform. Again, trapped by lily pads, that won't do at all. Coming around the outside, put those down like that, and you have got the perfect entrances right there. Now we need to decide what we're going to do with this front, but before I do, I'm just going to trim this off across the front like that. That gives us at least a relatively safe space. And I need to decide, where is my door going to go? I'm going to put it to the side, but I want there to be space to put a window in. So we're going to get a window in this side. I'm going to grab my planks. I'm going to go, that will be the wall. That will be where the one size window is. That will be another wall. That will be the door. And then now I can run those all the way along and get myself a decent wall on that side. Come up to the top like the rest of them. All the way across. And then get one there, an upside down step right there, and then texture it up again. We're now going to elevate this central section, so this bit here to this bit here, another 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to do that on all 4. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And here also 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to cross strut these so as we've got a raised area. Now I was thinking about making this into a bungalow, but in reality I think it's going to look more interesting if we bring it across like this. This isn't a swamp shack. I've done one of those before. This one is more of a swamp house. We just need to make sure it stays in keeping with what it is we're doing. We then want to be starting to think about how we're going to tip these both ends off here without it looking a little bit daft, and make sure that this is in keeping with the rest of it. And we're going to accent it on the edges of these roofs with spruce. I'm not going to use any stone, it just wouldn't look quite right. And these two ends are going to be just a standard 12-12 gable, just a standard up and down using steps like that. Do it on the other side as well. And it's only going to be 1 wide. You don't want to go too wide with the spruce, otherwise that'll look a bit daft. Bring these up so as they meet in the middle. Like that. Place an upside down step there, and then a step facing outwards, and one hanging over like that. That gives you the end. We're going to put exactly the same on the other end, and then what we're going to do is we're going to switch it up, because this side, the front, is going to be where the gable, and this is going to be where the slope is. So we're going to place the gable end there like that, and that's going to go up, and then this gable end there like that, and that's going to go up. But we're not going to 12-12 this. We're going to make it slightly more pointy just by putting a few extra full blocks in. I'll show you what I mean. And that's how it should look. We've got it going in almost on a 12-12 for the first few, and then it shoots up so you get a more pointy effect. Now what I'm going to need to do is put on one on that side, one on this side and that side, so as we've got all of our gable ends. Then we need to fill the rest of the roof in, and I might use a different colour wood for that. Those roof gables are on now, and I'm going to try something quite wild, because I'm going to give it a go with some warped wood. I wonder if warped wood might look all right. I've not tried it yet. It might look a bit daft, but actually in a swamp you never know, because green could actually work out quite nicely. I'm going to try that out in a bit of a time lapse, and you can let me know what you think in the comments below. We've got that roof in, but it's a little bit too, well, it's a bit too green, frankly. So I'm going to pop it in just where I've put some of these cubes here, some of these standard warped blocks. I'm just going to sprinkle around the odd little bit of mossy stone brick, just to see whether or not that breaks up that green. I think it might work quite nicely. There's nothing wrong with using some different texture in these roofs, just to stop it looking too Japanese. I'll get that finished. I'm also going to bring up these two walls, because we've got a few things we need to do there. So the wall at the front and the back are now completed, but we want to put a bit of a lean-to roof on this as well. So we're going to pop a little bit of wall there we're going to get ourselves some spruce fence on top of that and a piece of wall on top of the spruce fence, the same on this side. And then on top of that, I'm going to get myself some spruce slab, and I'm going to build up a slab stairway that goes all the way across. If I come up there and there and there, get rid of that there, and then that can come along there like that. You get there eventually. Bring that trim all the way across and repeat that. So as we finish this entire roof, just lean into, giving us just a little bit of gap before we get to the top of that gable there. That's what we're after. You can see we've got kind of a porchway that runs the entire length of the front of the building, and on the back we're going to do something similar, but we're going to use campfire, and I want a campfire across the top, and I'm going to run a campfire from here just on this stone below it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11, and we're going to come out just a few. We've just come out 4 there. We then need to get ourselves a spade and put them all out. So we've got quite a nice looking roof there, and then what we're going to come underneath, and we're going to get some oak, and we're going to place oak under each of these corners. We're then going to pop in a bit of wall, and then we're going to descend again using this spruce fence down a number of levels. And then when we get 2 blocks above the water interface, we're going to come in again with some more of the wall. That's going to go at the bottom of that, and then again with a little bit more oak wood, and that oak wood is going to plummet right down to the underside of the water until it hits the ground like that. So I'm going to do that on both sides, and that will allow us to have a bit of a kind of entranceway there that we can use a little bit of a crane for a loading dock. We've used stripped oak wood to finish off that gable end. It differentiates enough from the oak plank, but merges in because we've got some of the stripped oak wood into that wall anyway, and I think that makes for a nice in-keeping texture. I'm going to come level with the bottom of these inner walls now, and we're going to put in some cross beams there and also there. And what that'll allow me to do is continue the wall above that cross beam, so as it blocks off the edge of that gable like that, and then again we can texture that appropriately with a little bit of this stripped oak too. And now our house is completely enclosed, but we are going to need to do something about a chimney. Now it's getting dark in here, so I'm just going to pop up a couple of lanterns on the edges of each of these. More for light than anything. I suspect we may not leave them there. And I'm going to get myself some mossy stone bricks. I'm going to measure those 3 between those 2 posts there, replace those with mossy brick, and then also those 3 like that. Now this is a little bit of a gamble, I'm not going to lie to you. So we're going to get cobble posts going 2 high like that, and then going to put another mossy brick on each of those, a mossy brick there like that, which I think then covers all of that, and then going to get another mossy brick all the way around here, and that gives the effect of a double, well almost like a quadruple fire, but certainly a double fire between the 2 rooms of the building, and then we can carry on that fireplace going up to the roof there, go there and there. I need some mossy brick steps just like these ones, they can go there and there. Repeat that on the other side like that, and the mossy brick steps can go there, and if I can get in there like that. That's brilliant. So we've got a bit of a fire pit going here. However, do we want to put a campfire directly onto that? Let's have a look. Campfire goes straight on. You know what? I don't think that's too bad. If we just put one of these all the way around it, that turns it into a bit of a fire pit. And I think that could actually work, especially if we remove these up there. That will allow that smoke to rise all the way into the chimney area, and it won't look so strange. So I've punched a hole out through the roof exactly where that chimney leads, and we can see here that is the chimney stack right there. Let's just replace that wood so we can see where it's going, and this again is the chimney stack right there. So I'm going to bring this around so as it's a bit of a square shape. We can keep that one like that and bring that chimney up, and perhaps mould it a little so as it comes around to the shape of the roof like this. And we can add some different texture as it curves around. Can carry up that high. I think that's plenty high enough. Now what we can do is we can texture in some different stones and also some different shapes, things like steps, etc., so as it doesn't look quite so jutty on some of these areas. I think that is a pretty rundown chimney and is quite in keeping with what you'd expect to see in a swamp house. We're going to start to detail up some of these areas now, and detailing is not going to be anything more complicated than the odd window like this. I think that's probably enough. We're going to put a big window in the end because you want lots of light going in there, and just two small windows on the side. This is going to have windows there, that's too high, and I reckon also there and there, so that's quite open. This is going to have a single window like that. This will have a single window like that, and then we'll also get a double window there. No windows on that side because this is going to be a loading bay, and as a result that piece of wall there isn't really going to need anything. I'm going to put some glass in this, and then I'm also going to line it up with some trapdoors like this, for example. We're also going to put trapdoors across the top potentially. We could bring in some posts like that. We're definitely going to dress some windows under there, and we're going to put things like flower pots and maybe even some lanterns in. We'll get some chains in certain areas as well, and I think altogether that could be quite nice. Let's just get that done. We've dressed all of those windows, we've added windows into those gables here, and I did notice that I'd not finished off the gable end here, so I continued the roof up to the top of the gable and just popped a small window in that as well. Put some various different types of dressing. This one is gates, this one is fence posts. We've obviously got there just the standard trapdoor, and I think as a combination it works quite well. What I want to do though is I want to take out that, replace it with that, and then pop in that there. I think that is a good shout. And then similarly on this side. Now what I want to do is I want to come around the back, and I want to start a little bit of work on this area here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place an upside down stair there, there and there. I'm then going to get a slab there, there, there and there. So that looks like a well supported platform. I'm then going to pop a grindstone. Grindstone's going to come out there, and I'm going to place a chain coming off the end of that grindstone with a little bit of shift click coming down below the level of that, and then we'll put something on the end of that chain. Let's make it a barrel. I think a barrel would work. These guys are going to be lifting barrels in and out of their house all over the place, I suspect. There you go. So that barrel is now being lifted up as a result of that, which means that we can also put a barrel there and a barrel at the top like that. Starts to make sense now. What I do want to do is get myself some oak stairs and trim around the underside of this so it kind of overhangs all the way around. So I'm going to do that, and when I finish that we're going to put some buttons onto these upright struts, the wooden ones, just to give that a little bit more depth and texture, and see if we can't maybe bush out a little bit. Even though we're in the middle of the water, there's got to be some bushing opportunity, surely. The outside is pretty much done. We have got vines and bushes hanging off all over the place. You can see even the bushes have run into that water as well as a result of growing over and becoming part of the entire swamp. I love the way it tumbles down off of the roof, and I think it's looking pretty good. However, the inside, well, the inside hasn't really got anything going on for it. So let's just come in and see. You can see all we've got inside here is a fireplace. This needs to be transformed. So let's do that right now. And as if by magic, we have got a completely transformed interior. So we've got lots of storage here in our working space. This is in the longer, lower area here with the roof above us. We've got embedded barrels in the floor. We've got a work table here with a workstation right in the middle there. There's a crafting table. All of this smeltability right there. Coming through and past into the other side of the fireplace, we have got our enchanting setup, which works beautifully right there. Coming up the steps, this is where our bed is. We've got a decent amount of storage up here as well. That shelf there is supported with chains, and outside we can collect our stuff from whatever boat it is that's delivering these barrels. All in all, this interior I think matches the exterior pretty well. One finished swamp house. Now you just have to well download it. I love this little swamp house. It is a great addition to our biomes houses. It's really in keeping with the surroundings. I reckon any swamp witch would be absolutely delighted to live in one of those, or maybe you would. World download is available in the description below, completely free to anybody you like. It's for Java, sorry Bedrock players, but this is not for you. But I reckon you can recreate that fairly easily in Bedrock. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.